Wealthy Rising Galactic family, I want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers, and thank you, my husband, my CFO and business partner as well, my marriage partner of 19 years. He's been helping me bring this channel up. I finally got a brand, and it definitely is a divine brand. It has everything to do with my calling. And so, again, I want to thank you to all my new subscribers. I have 48 subscribers as of now. That means I need only 2 more, which I know we're going to get today. So we are going to be giving out the Cash App. And sis, I'm still waiting for you to drop your Cash App. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I am coming to you with the planetary alignment, and I am so excited to give this planetary alignment to you on today. And let me tell you, I'm just really excited. Oh, okay, because it comes with a story. It comes with a story. Like, I got 2 stories to give you, right? To get you to understand what the stars are saying. Because our forefathers, Enoch and Abraham, could look at the stars and read what they were saying. Creation speaks. And so here at the Higher Learning Agency, I'm Professor X, and I will help you understand the language of creation and how we work together synergetically to create heaven on earth. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so today is, let me make sure I got this right. Today is April 10th, 410. Ooh, 410. Okay, so I'm always adding numbers, numerology, 4 plus 1, because I get the 4 and a 10. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 is in the natural and also in the spiritual. It transcends both sides. And that is amazing because that is actually what the stars are talking about on today. So let's talk about where the sun is located at. And then I'll get to the rest of the major planets that we need to recognize. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I love stories. And these come with stories. I love Greek mythology, right? Because there's truth to that. There's a scripture in Genesis that talks about when the angels made it with the daughters of earth, and they made Nephilim. And scripture says these were the men of renown. If you read, and they were giants, right? They were considered giants. These were the children of the sun. But you know, yeah. So, Greek mythology, myth ain't really myth, baby. You know, you got to do your own research is what I like to say. And I love doing research. So, all right, without any further ado, let's get on to with the planetary alignment for April 10th, 2025. Okay, 14. 21. And it comes to a 3. I just added up all the numbers of the year. 23. And then it comes to 5 again when I put the let me stop. Okay. Because all the numbers, everything goes together. It's like, it's one language. And so once you, the vibrational frequency, it's a uniform language that all of the cosmos, all of creation speaks. But okay, let me get to it, because y'all, my mind be going. So I took some notes for you today, and it was real fast and real easy. Thank God everything's still pretty much close to, you know, where it's been in the last week or so. Because last week I wanted to give you the planetary lineup, but I think I took a shot and it was over. So, here we go. So the sun is in Pisces. So we are getting, okay, so the sun be giving out pulsations, like the sun be pulsating. So the sun is transmitting, or we know the sun is transmitting Piscean energy. And we know that Pisces is a water sign. And like a Scorpio, my husband is a Pisces. And like a Scorpio, I'm a Scorpio. They are spiritually intuitive. And a water sign. I said that already, a water sign. So this has to do with emotions. So the sun is surrounded by these major constellations. And I wrote them down. Okay, so the first one, you know what? I need to pull up the picture because I need to see it as well. Pull the picture back up. Take me to the sun. Yeah. So the ram. Okay, so okay. So the sun is surrounded by these major constellations. Okay. The sun pretty much is really in Pisces, but because there's these other big stars as well, we have to consider that they are giving off their energy towards the sun, because, you know, when you're in close proximity of someone, you can feel their energy, point blank, period. Okay. So now the sun is like a satellite. It will magnify a signal, or it actually sends signals, and we're getting the genetic upgrades. So this is the signals that's coming from the sun. Again, it's surrounded not only by Pisces over yonder, but I'm going to start from this end. Trying not to say that's why I was like, I'm working on my presentation skills and all of that, especially on the camera. It's not. Anyway, let me just give you the planetary lineup and the forecast, the planetary forecast. So the sun is surrounded, there it is, okay, the ram. There is a star in the Capricorn constellation called Hami. That's how I restored my throat. Hami, that's a mantra that you could say because I broke my neck. Okay, I broke my neck about 3 years ago. Oh boy, I wasn't even intending on this story right here. But I broke my neck about 3 years ago. I flipped in a car. Never get a car that's been, what was it? Restored? Never get a restored vehicle. Never. Okay. So anyway, ever since I had been in that accident, I didn't have to have any major surgery, but my voice, you know, and I used to sing in a choir, in a church choir. Now I only had one solo, and baby, it was this little light of mine. So, you know, I sing back up real good. Okay, I'll be holding it down in the back. You know, unless, you know, I can hold just a little bit. Anyway, so, but to open up my throat chakra, there's different mantras that you can do to strengthen your different chakras. And that one was damaged because I had broke my neck. my C1 vertebrae, to be exact. So Hami is a sun in the Capricorn constellation. The Ma has a lot to do with water, has everything to do with water. And so so it's resonating, there's a resonance, and it's opening up people's throat chakras. And again, this is why you are starting to hear a lot of esoteric people like me start to come out, because our throat chakras are opening up. And if you have quantum esoteric information, because forbidden knowledge, this is the time where it's coming out. And a lot of, I like to say, this is the Christ consciousness age. And people are coming forth and their throat chakras are opening up and they're speaking the things of Pisces. The water, this is the age of resurrection. I'm going to get there because there's another resurrection story that I'm going to share with you. But it is resonating. This is water. What's the ha sound? Is it cha? Oh, yeah. The ha is synonymous with the cha. Ain't it? I'm trying to think because I don't have my Hebrew letters in front of me. Yes. And it is a circle surrounded by a snake. The clay surrounded by a snake. So although we're surrounded by the enemy, we're still protected. So this is the age that we're living in. And so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to speak out. Can't you tell I'm liberated? I'm so liberated because I thought that I was weird at one time. Okay. So I be, like the ABCD community be saying, let your freak flag fly, baby. Holla. Okay. So, and I don't care what you say. If you think I'm a freak, I'm a super, I know that. Okay, I'm going off. But yes, we're super. I remember there was young cats that was prophesying that we were going to get a genetic upgrade, and it's happening now. But let me tell you some more of this story. The stars are going to confirm what I'm telling you right now. So the sun, we were talking about, because I'm only on the one constellation. Lord have mercy. So the sun is surrounded by these three constellations. One of the constellation is Capricorn, and there's a major sun in Capricorn called Hamai. I told you before that I study Hebrew, the Phoenician version, the Sanskrit that they no longer really use. But I wanted to know the language that formed the universe. And again, the universe is formed out of sound, frequency, and vibrations. We can manipulate our reality by understanding these principles and using them to our advantage. And that's why I'm here to help you fight this battle galactica, baby. All right, so that's one constellation, and it has a lot to do with the throat chakra. Hamai. Okay, so then there is another, now this is not a star or a sun, so to speak. It's like three stars that make a triangle. It's called the triangle, and it is the feet. It's at the feet of Andromeda. Wait till I give you the story of Andromeda. This is what I was excited about. I was so excited about this right here. You guys got to know who Andromeda is. As a matter of fact, it's time for me to read the story because I just found out this story. But before I tell you the story of Andromeda, and Pegasus is right there. I have to let you know that Venus, the other planets is in this area too. Let me go to Venus real quick. So hold the thought. Don't forget about Andromeda because I have to lay a foundation so the story can make sense. I don't want to have the end of the story, give it to you first. And then I'm going to tell you the beginning of the story at the end. No, we're going to tell you the beginning of the story. And then we're going to get to Andromeda. Okay? So, and now I was really excited about this the other day when I looked this up. But my baby had came home from work and it was shot o'clock. And that was all. It was stuck. It was up and it was stuck. So now, but still, Venus is in this area. So let's talk about Venus. Venus is in Pisces as well. Like I said, mostly all of the major players. All of the major planets are in Pisces. I'm talking about Venus, Saturn, Mercury, and the sun. These are the major players that a lot of astrologers look at, okay? I like to look at all of them, but these are the major players. So let's take a look. Because the other ones, they're kind of like the rulers that actually just sit back. Neptune ain't moving. Neptune is chilling for the whole year, right? he goes into each constellation every year. He camps out for the whole year. Okay, so he ain't moving. And so anyway, cheers, salud. That's right. Venus is inside the fish head. And Venus is really the mother of us all. Because if you understand that all of us, we come from the lights. Your being has been reflected through all of the skylights, the lights, and all of the major lights in the sky. We all come from the stars. Okay? So Venus is our mother. And this story is a story, you've heard a resurrection story before, but you might have never heard this one. It depends on, what schools of training you have read or looked into. But they all go back to a resurrection story, which I love. Even Kemet. So Venus is the mother of us all. And Mayat has been resurrected. I really believe that those global warming meetings that they were having and they were, talking about the ice caps melting and all of that. It had a lot to do with our consciousness waking up and the primordial gods, our family, our holy family returning, just like it's been said in Aztec culture. And it's been prophesied that Christ will return in these last days. And to be honest, I see Christ in a lot of us. The 144 crystals, if you know the science behind it, check out B-Dale. He can give you the science behind that. B-Dale 1014 on YouTube. And he's on, Instagram. Check him out. And so he's actually a living Christ. Scripture said that greater works will we be able to do. And they've always tried to demonize. Now think about what Christ did. Christ talked to the elements. The elements are alive. They obeyed. They're angels. Everything that was created is a living thing. Even the rocks. That's why when you put a frequency on them, even the rocks will cry out. If you don't give glory to the frequency, to creation that was made. So Venus, back to the resurrection story. Venus is inside the head of the fish. For some reason, somebody, if you know how Venus and Medusa correlate, let me know. I do know that all the daughters, right? And Venus is our mother, who is also known as Isis. And I know Isis to be definitely a mother. Gosh, here's another story. Let me tell you the story. Let me tell you the story of Isis. She was trying to save her child. She was trying to save her child. And she had to leave home. She left her home because her husband was going to kill the child. And so she tried to save the child. Because he, whatever the reason. So she came down from heaven onto earth. And she came as a woman in rags. Now, this is the queen of heaven, baby. The queen of heaven, baby, came down in rags. Because they're rulers. Scripture tells you that the planets are rulers. And these lights are connected to our chakras. We've all come through those lights. These are our holy families. But you need to understand, this is our holy family. So she comes down, and we come from the stars. And baby, you going back. Just like you shot down, you're going to shot back right back up. But when she came down in rags. And she had a baby with her. And she went to this lady's house. And she asked for refuge. And the lady turned her away. So she went to another house. And the second house, the woman of the house had pity on her and let her in. Now, forces of nature, or our foreparents, our ancestors, they have animals. We all have animal companions. And she had 7 scorpions. 7 scorpions. Those are her companions. And I believe that they were sent to protect her. Somebody gave those to her as a gift to protect her. I believe I'm right, but they were with her. And so the night that she slept in the lady's house that opened her doors and took her and her child in, those 7 scorpions, they went to the house of the lady that refused her and stung her child. And the baby was crying and dying. And Mother Venus heard the cry, and she knew it immediately what her companions had did. And she ran out, and she went to the lady that refused her. And she called the names of the venomous scorpions one by one and rebuked them. And the baby was healed and lived. And I like that story because it shows the character of a real mother. We all know that if don't nobody got your back, your mother has your back. And Venus is the mother of all. And things will still happen to you, but you won't necessarily die. But I hope you learn from them, because eventually enough stuff, if you never learn, the venom won't be stopped. Anyway, so that's the story of Venus. And this is, again, I love her so much because that is a great feminine quality that I see in a lot of our mothers. How they're so forgiving. Love covers a multitude of sin, right? So anyway, Medusa keeps coming up. And Venus is the mother of us all. And Medusa, she was insightful. She was gifted. There was a time on this earth where the feminine authority reigned. Kind of like, I'm going to show you a picture here. This is the divine family relationship. The queen, this is why in chess, the queen, and once the queen is gone, your kingdom about done. Like, what you fighting for now? The queen births the royal children, and the sons become kings and protect. Become wise kings. A king takes care of a village. A king gets honor. He becomes a ruler. When you are wise and a self-master, you become a ruler. And so this divine woman gives birth to kings because of her wisdom. And so Medusa was an oracle, and people would go to her for healing. And she had a particular craft or a way that she would heal people, right? And she would heal them by looking into their eyes, And, there's Tantra. There's different meditative, I be wanting to explore all kind of grown up stuff. And, that is a deeper way to connect with your partner on a spiritual level. But I've also seen, even looking in the mirror for a long period of time, that, you begin to look into your soul. So she used that way as a way of meditation. It is getting hard. She used that as a way of meditation. And the story is that if you wasn't right in your heart and you went to her with ill intentions or whatever, your pineal gland could get calcified. Thus, the story of people turning into stone. So the story is that Perseus, before I tell you that. So now, Venus is inside the fish head, but right above the fish head is Pegasus, the Pegasus constellation. So Perseus, he cuts off Medusa's head. And the story goes that, because the truth of the matter is, we don't die, we transcend. Just like the story of the Phoenix. You have to watch one of my other videos to hear the story of the Phoenix. Maybe I'll just make a video specifically about the story of the Phoenix. But we don't die, we transcend. And this is why we have to pay attention to nature, because nature will teach you about our reality that we live in, what's really real. And nature is here to help us. It's alive, and guiding us. So Perseus cuts off the head of Medusa. When he cuts off the head of Medusa, she transcends, because death is not death. It's not death. It's even in tarot. Even in tarot, it is the end of one life cycle and the beginning of another. And so when he cut her head off, out from where he cut her head off, sprang Pegasus. She transcended into a being with wings in the higher heavens. So she's even higher than when she transcended in the higher heavens. So now let's go to the feet of Andromeda. Because here's another story. This is stories back to back. A little libation for the God. All praises. Hallelujah. Okay. So I got the story saved here. The Andromeda story. So remember, Perseus cuts off the head of Medusa. And so in the Andromeda story, it was necessary. Our people, are martyrs. This story teaches us not even to be afraid of death, because there is no death. You don't even be afraid of death, because in her so-called death, watch how Perseus slayed a beast. And she still transcended, because it is said that our essence, a little bit of our energy, is still left on this plane, although we've transcended to another plane. Our essence. So yeah, that's how you can tap into your family's energy if you or tap into an ancestor's energy. So So let's get to the story, though. It's hot. Oh, my gosh, I got this sweatshirt on. So it's cold outside, though, but it's just, the heat works when it's indoors. All praises. Oh, gosh. All right, so here it is. Greek mythology. Andromeda was a princess of Ethiopia. They spelled it Aethiopia. Ethiopia. A black princess. So Andromeda, she was Ethiopian, and also Ethiopian means the ethers. That means that we come from the ethers. So she was an Ethiopian. All right. We come from the ethers. We're all star seeds. All right, so let me get back to the story. In Greek mythology, Andromeda was a princess of Ethiopia who was chained to a rock as a sacrifice to the sea monster Cetus, but was rescued by the hero Perseus, who later married her. Don't we love a knight in shining armor? Aye. Here's a look at. All right, so the origin of the problem is this. Andromeda's mother, Queen Cassiopeia, boasted that her daughter was more beautiful than the Nereids, the sea nymphs or mermaids, angering the sea god Poseidon. You know what? Ain't that how, boy, it's always about a woman. So Poseidon's wrath. As punishment, Poseidon sent Cetus to ravage the coast of Ethiopia. The sacrifice. To appease Poseidon and save their kingdom, King Cephas and Cassiopeia were told by an oracle that they must sacrifice their daughter, Andromeda. Now the sun is at Andromeda's feet, y'all. Beautiful feet. Andromeda's fate. Andromeda was chained to a rock by the sea, awaiting Cetus. But Perseus' intervention. Perseus, a hero on his way home from slaying the Gorgon Medusa, saw Andromeda and fell in love with her. So after he chopped off Medusa's head, he fell in love with her. The rescue. Perseus made a deal with Cephas and Cassiopeia. If they promised him Andromeda's hand in marriage, he would save her. The battle. Perseus killed Cetus with the help of the head of Medusa, which turned the monster to stone. The marriage. Perseus and Andromeda married and had children, including Perseus, who became the ancestor of the Persian kings. Andromeda and the stars. After Andromeda's death, the goddess Athena placed her image in the sky as the constellation of Andromeda. I love, and now even in my cards, when I looked up my cards, my husband is the knight and he marries the princess, and I'm royalty. He's the knight that marries the princess. And I love swords. I love a knight. I love a man of valor, a righteous man of valor, because valor actually has a lot to do with righteousness. If you're going around being a brute, that's not valor. And so, yeah. So it's a story that's told in the stars. And so let's go back to the resurrection story, because, gosh, it's beautiful. So let's first, before I do that, Medusa. She was a martyr. Even in her death, she still slayed the dragon and was able to free the princess and brought love. And all of us, we love love. We're daughters of Venus. We love, and our men, they love love too. They sure do. Everybody just need a little bit of guidance. But yeah, y'all be surprised. Men do the most love spells on women. Oh, do that. You can you can draw, the person that you purpose for, but I don't believe in doing stuff out of people's will. So I'm not the one, or the two, or the three, or the four. You got to go somewhere else. Love needs to be real and genuine and authentic. Yeah, I don't play like that. Let's see. So Venus is inside of a fish head. Like Venus is inside of Pisces, surrounded by these stars that represent the head of the fish. Venus is inside, surrounded by that. And the story is that Perseus cut the fish head off. We know that we are living in the time of the resurrection of the gods. Check your DNA, baby. Baby, we are gods in the flesh. Our members are being awakened. The 144 is here. Battle Galactica is here to take back. I'm telling you, it's in the stars. It's in the stars. I felt it. And when I began to read the constellations and see that they were telling our stories and giving off different energies, I was like, whoa. I've always been able to read maps in kindergarten, before kindergarten, but I had no idea that I'd be reading the stars. Had no idea. So, yeah. So Venus is telling us the whole resurrection story. Right above Venus, the fish head, there's Pegasus. So they thought they slayed, but there is a resurrection that is taking place. And you don't have to necessarily leave this plane to die to your old self. You don't have to leave this plane to die to your old self. The best thing to do is to die to your old lower self. As a matter of fact, I believe that you come into this world as a baby, you become a child, a teenager, and then a grown-up. Then when you become a grown-up, you learn how to become a god. So you're not done. You're still growing. You got to learn how to become a god. And that comes with self-mastery. So I'm here to help. Because you are more than a conqueror. You are more than an overcomer. No weapon formed against you shall ever prosper. It's only going to make you better. It's only going to make you better. All right, so Saturn. Everyone hates Saturn, but Saturn is a beast that needs to be tackled. Wherever Saturn is in your chart, that's the thing that you need to work on in your life. And it's so funny. The planets are lining up. It's talking to all of us. This horoscope that I'm giving you is for the entire creation. It's speaking to us. And Saturn is communicating with us, telling us it's time for you to resurrect and come into your divinity. The thing that you were sent here to do, it's time for you to do it. Listen to your body and listen to the cues. Make sure you follow and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to make sure that, because this video was getting long, so I'm going to have to make a separate video so you can understand the cues. When the elements in your body, your spirit, your ancestors, your bloodline, your help, your spirit team is trying to assist you. I want you to know the cues, because baby, I ain't trying to be your master. You be your own master. What Christ say, I lay down my life and I pick it up. You got to decide to pick it up. I ain't fighting nobody's demons for them. I will show you how to slay your own demons. You go slay your own demons. All right. So that was a serious moment. Could you tell? That was serious. Okay. So Saturn is serious. A lot of people hate Saturn, but it's a serious thing. We need to upgrade. And folks that are not on this frequency, they're going to disappear. Like, you can, like, frequency out. Like, do you know why the glass breaks when the fat lady sing? Because it's on the same frequency, and when it hits that thing, it shatters. Folks is going to phase out if they ain't riding with the harmonic convergences that's taking place planetarily, cosmologically, and biologically in our bodies. This is a wake-up call. It's always been. Mercury is in the same section, communicating the same thing. Mercury is a satellite. It amplifies communication. Mercury is communication. Like I said, are you listening to the prophets? The 144,000, are you awakening your crystals within you? Because all it takes is for someone to speak into your life and you get a genetic upgrade right then and there. That's all it takes. Because as you go to sleep, somebody might have even rejected the word. And when they go to sleep, you better believe everything that was said that day, it's going to play back. Especially the important stuff and the stuff that the spirit wanted them to hear. So, I'm going to bring this video to a close. I've been talking for 42 minutes. But I do want to say thank you. You guys have encouraged me to make more videos. Especially my husband. He's first and foremost been there to support me since day one. Miss Bonita Jenkins, thank you so much. I went to go visit her, and she said, girl, how come you ain't making no more videos? And so I really appreciate you. We got to do lunch. Let's do lunch. And all of you who have subscribed in the last 24 hours, I got 14 people that have subscribed in the last 24 hours. And y'all been subscribing while I've been making this video. So thank you so much, and stay tuned for this genetic upgrade because we about to put on our super. This is Professor X at the Higher Learning Agency, and I'm wishing you a happy new day.